Hello friends, I made this for. My name is Lauren and I love astrology, the tarot, hail Saturn, daddy. And if you've never been here before, welcome. I love new friends. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. This is 4 days later than I anticipated, but this holiday season, as we can tell, it's the holidays. This holiday season has been incredibly busy between working full-time as an art teacher and doing my hustles as an artist and all of that fun stuff. Been a busy bee. So let's get into some tarot for the month. How are you feeling? Make sure to drop a comment down below where you're at, how you've been feeling. Did you pull any cards for the first of the month? Did you just kind of maybe pull a card or two to see how, what energy you could bring in? Let me know. But before I get into that, let's get into the nitty gritty. I have this all written down. Venus enters Capricorn on the 9th. Mercury enters Capricorn on the 6th. So those are some dates this upcoming week to just kind of notice or take stock in. Capricorn season is, of course, right around the corner with the winter solstice on the 21st. So we can already see those planetary bodies making their way into Capricorn and out of Sagittarius, which I love Sag season. It's a great season to me because also my Mars is in Sag. So I feel very energized around this time of year. Honestly, I feel like I'm doing the thing. Especially this year because my mental health has finally been doing the thing. Very excited that my mental health is stable. All the baddies take Lexapro. So yeah, what are your Lexapro nouns? As one of my students said the other day. Jupiter enters Aries on the 20th. So that's another thing to keep track of. Jupiter is doing its thing. Jupiter has been my planet to watch this year as I'm in my 9th house perfection year. So Jupiter is the one I'm like tapped into a little bit more this year. Love that for me. What else? Of course, we have a full moon on the 7th and a dark moon on the 23rd, just kind of following through after that shift. So write those dates down just to bring awareness. If you want to do any rituals around the solstice, definitely check out my Patreon for $2 a month. You can get all the different rituals and creative prompts. I have a ritual in there for the solstice. Our theme this month is hope, so keep hope alive. Make some art, pull some cards. This is the dark time of the year. Hope can be a little difficult, especially for all my baddies that have seasonal depression. No shame, I got it too, babes. Use your light lamp, go outside when it's light out. That has been helping me greatly. Almost all my vending this year has been outside, and mama has been getting that good D, you know what I mean. But with December, let's talk about December. Let's pull some cards for December. What are we stepping into collectively? Remember, this is all collective. So this is going to be vague and all over the place. I just cut my hair, just took a shower. It's a fresh start, babes. New nails for the holiday season. So what are we stepping into energetically, collectively this month? The Empress. We are stepping into our ability to make space. The Empress sometimes, and I've said this before, often gets like very mother and femme energy. And if that resonates with you, I think that's beautiful. But that doesn't resonate with everyone. So we're going to keep it this way. This is about making space for your capacity for just holding fucking space, like massive space, massive ability to be present, massive ability to just step into your sacred capacity and the fruitfulness of that. When we see this interpretation of the Empress, one, this is deeply connected to Venus. It's obvious. We see the symbol for Venus right here. But we also see the wheat that is in front of her and the pomegranates on her dress. She is literally dripping. This person is dripping in abundance, providing what matters. We are providing for ourselves in this way where we can just hold space for our friends and family. We don't have to be anything. We can just exist with intention and fullness. We provide so much for our communities, for ourselves. And this month is about stepping into opening up that capacity even more. Now, this doesn't always look like being mama bear. It can if that resonates for you. But it could also be just like being able to open up and hold space for someone who needs a good cry, or holding space for ourselves when we need a good cry. Making our capacity full in whatever way that means to you. So does that mean holding space for our capacity to be there for others or be there for ourselves? It's really about for you. For you, what does that mean? And that's really what it comes down to. The only thing that matters is, what does full to capacity mean for you? And this might be the month to explore that collectively and individually. What does it mean? What does it mean? And also wear the fucking crown. Look at this person has this scepter. It almost looks like a mic. How can you amplify that and let it be heard, let it be seen, let it be known that your strength and capacity is being opened up this month, because you are fucking fruitful. And that doesn't mean always like, you're gonna make a baby this month. No, like, what other fruits do you have to offer? What fullness is overflowing from you? And do you have more capacity for it? Oh my gosh, I'm bringing out the necklace. I forgot it's in there. So, big potent magic. So let's pull another one for, what does capacity mean? Let's go for that. What does capacity mean for us this month as we explore fullness and opening? What does capacity mean for our openness? Listen. This might be an intimidating card, but this card often comes because it's telling us we gotta throw out the limiting belief that we hold. We hold so much power. We put these swords around ourselves, or we think the swords are there. And yes, the limit exists. Yes, we could get hurt on these, and theoretically, if we were to brush up against them. But there's an opening here. We are not actually enclosed. We are fighting with ourselves. And that's kind of a funny thing to explore, right? There is these limits around this person, the mat, like all of this, but there is an opening. So you might be thinking, when I said like open to capacity, you might be thinking, I am at capacity. I can't open anymore. I can't be present with myself anymore. I'm so fucking tired of receiving. I'm fucking tired of having to be at capacity for everyone else. Now, this card reminds us that there's a path forward, but we might just be not open to it. That path forward might be something hidden that we are just like not able to observe at the moment. It might be something that we honestly are scared to move past. When we see this swords, it is here to remind us that even though it is difficult, we have to befriend the mind and walk through that path that might not be obvious. So what that might mean is that we might be really like thinking about, oh my gosh, I have all this shit to do for the holidays. Oh my god, I've got to hold space for all these fucking people. I have to do this. I have to do. There's a lot of I have tos around this time of year, and this card comes as a reminder that the I have tos, baby, that's a limiting belief system. How do we move through that? Is it because you don't think you can ask for help, or you don't believe you can ask for help? Or can you? Have you not tried it in a long time? Right? Like opening up your capacity might look like a lot of things to a lot of different people, but if you're feeling really like constricted, it means allowing for capacity, like asking for help or asking for like, you know what, I can't do that. I have to make space for me. And that's the path through all these swords. The swords are I have tos. The restraints on this person are you can't not do this. The blindfold is I'm stuck. But all of these things, can we sit with them and go, you know what? I can feel my way through. And so capacity looks different when we make space. When we say, actually, maybe not. Or when we just simply have a moment to ourselves and go, I'm turning my phone off. I have to make space. But also making space means make space for others to support you. You deserve it. We all deserve support. There's never a time when you should ever feel, I'm speaking generally but directly here, we are all deserving of rest. We are all deserving of help, and we are all so deserving of a little heartbreak. And by that I mean not like your heart is breaking, but a break for your heart. Yeah. So let's pull a card for what is the medicine to help us see through the bullshit so that we can be more open and abundant. What's the medicine card to get us through? Individually, collectively. I love how I just always look at the camera before I ever like say anything, and that's always a thing. Knight of Cups. As always, if you've been here before, you know that this is, in my belief system, in my relationship with the tarot, the court cards represent who we are being asked to be. So Knight of Cups, Knights are, to me, initiators. They are the ones that say it's time for change. In my heart of hearts, it is the cardinal energy to me where it's like, yes, it's time to make a change. So when we look at like that shift, that change in cups, it's not a very fast shift. It's more of a gradual change. It's not as slow as Knight of Pentacles, because Knight of Pentacles, there's like no movement here. We can see this knight is moving forward. It's just not as fast as, let's say, Knight of Swords, where it's like action immediately. When we're looking at cups, this is all about the heart and the subconscious, and like if this is befriending the mind and like that frontal, like how we respond in day-to-day life, cups is the heart and then our subconscious and how that influences things. I also feel like the cups really connect to our inner child, because cups can be very heartfelt, and inner child wounds or privilege, that's all very much in the heart. It either really empowers us or it feels like I don't fucking know what I'm doing, right? Or I'm just like, you know, if you're on my Patreon, you heard me talk in one of the monthly circles about lizard brain and wizard brain. So the part of our brain that reacts quickly, that's and like instinctually, um, that is swords. Whereas the subconscious brain, or the brain that goes, okay, it's time to like pragmatically look at this a little differently and connect that to an empathetic and compassionate space, that's more cups to me. Again, I talk about things as my interpretation. Everybody's connection to tarot is different, and that's fucking beautiful, so stick with me. Knight of Cups is kind of here to go, you know, nurturing our heart is where we can make some massive shifts in our lives. And that means being able to make space for our heart. Sometimes we put our heart on the shelf and go, I will get to this later because I just don't have time. Or instinctually, I have to be reacting all the time. When I was working as a teacher with 32 students in the class, that was me. I was very lizard brain. I was constantly just trying to react, trying to respond, trying to survive. And in that time, it felt like I really didn't have the privilege of relaxing and releasing that flight and or fight or freeze response. I was constantly like, da, 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 da. So this is not to say like, just have a spa day, babe. Like, that's not easy for everybody. That's a privilege, okay? Like, I get that. But sacred time to settle with our heart might look like, at the end of the day, journaling for 5 minutes, or reading a book and totally unplugging right before you go to sleep, or calling a friend daily on your drive to work, a different friend, so you can just like talk and connect and have your heart space heard and felt, right? It might look like in the mornings just taking 2 minutes to stretch before checking your phone. Those are like really powerful like ways of just connecting to the heart first, so you're not necessarily like, I don't know what to do, I'm just overwhelmed and feeling all the feelings. Yes, we are feeling all the feelings. There's a lot of shit going down and life is very, very hard right now. But make space for your heart. When you start making space for your heart and making those shifts, that's when you see the path out of here. And when you make the path out of there with the brain, life just kind of allows more capacity. So those shifts can be small and gradual. It could be something big for yourself and going, you know what? This day, 1 day a week, I'm not taking phone calls. I'm not checking emails. That can look like so many different things. Of course, based on your life and based on your needs, that'll look like a lot of different things. Like I said, it was really hard for me when I was working 5 days a week at a very toxic job, because it felt like all weekend I was just like trying to regulate the nervous system to just do it all over again, right? But one thing that I wish I had done was taking more time consistently in the evenings to just check in with my mental health. And I did do that sometimes, but just not consistently. So there's not anything wrong with like falling off of ritual that supports you. But remember that that shit is so powerful to your mental health, your overall health, and your ability to just be okay. Because we are being asked to step into our power of capacity, our ability to enjoy pleasure, our ability to make space for what feels good. That's another thing about the Empress. It's about making space. Big space. Mm-hmm. It might not feel like we can make big space throwing that card out of here, but we can. But sometimes the gradual change is what we need to shift the magic. So that's my reading for the month. I hope that was supportive. Let me know again. Did this resonate with you? Did it not? Are you like, yeah, that was a bunch of bullshit, thanks though? Or are you like, yeah, you know what? I can make some shifts. I can make some change, and I can make space for my pleasure, my capacity to just open up for myself. Babes, you're doing a lot. Okay? You don't have to do that much. And that's sometimes radical to accept. That's sometimes really hard to make space for, but you don't have to do it. Just do what feels good. And with that said, make sure to check the links in my link tree down below if you want to connect. Of course, Hail Saturn is available. It might not get to you in time for Christmas, but if you're like, I need a little break for myself, I want a little Christmas present for myself, this is like almost always in my shop because it's like my bestseller. So it's always going to be available, I think. But a lot of stuff is in the shop, in the Bonfire shop, that isn't always going to be there. So get it while you can. And until next time, friends, family, and others, have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.